Solimar, we just spoke to Marianne, and she is like, gave a great example of how Solimar optimizes all the processes in print. Michael, you work for State of Washington, right?
Yes, I'm a digital print and mail solutions architect for the State of Washington.
I can't help think about that. I mean, in a country so huge as America, and I take that the paper-based communication is still really, really important in America. How important is it to optimize your data flow to make sure that the printing machines and the enveloping machines works perfectly?
Oh, absolutely important. Yeah, we receive millions of letters basically a month. I think we are about 4 million a month is what we average and what we mail out for the state. So everything I do is about full automation, just making sure that there's as few touch points as possible. Nobody has to do anything. The customer submits a job, everything flows through, and it goes right to print. So we have to make sure everything's really as optimized as possible.
So I can't help think about, because I think in Europe, where I come from, a lot of the communication has now been shifting more and more to emails and other kind of electronic means. And I was just wondering, because I mean, paper is so important still. Is the volume of paper in your work, is that steady or increasing or dropping?
It's a good question. I don't have the metrics, but I feel like it has still actually been kind of increasing, if not holding steady. Definitely there's populations with government action that they don't always have access to computer, and we want to make sure everything's very equitable. We don't want to leave people out, so there's still a lot of significant information that needs to go out in the mail. So that part's great. There's also a lot of activity, even as we know our customers have shifted some of their communications online. Some jobs have gone down, new jobs have come to take their place. So it's just like there's always so much activity going that it still feels really relevant and necessary to keep going with the mailing.
Actually, the reason I was asking was just thinking that, I mean, what did companies like yours do before Solimar?
Oh, that's a great question. I worked for the state for about a year before we brought on Solimar. Everything when I first started was very manual. We had 3 or 4 different people doing the production. We had a different group doing variable data templates from the postal processing, and there was so many touch points. And we would have, depending on who did your processing, you'd get the different data back for your template on any given day from job to job, and you'd have to adapt. So it was very much not optimal, very manual, a lot of touch points. And so over the years, things have really streamlined. We've tried to get more common formats. A lot of our customers, I think the biggest shift I've seen has been from data-based variable data with templates to PDFs. The customers now are generating their own PDFs, because every system can generate a PDF. Not a good PDF, and sometimes really bad PDFs. But we can get all those now, and with the Solimar's tools, we're able to automate, we're able to optimize, enhance, re-engineer where we need to, and combine them and get them out fully automated. So big change.
Would you say that as people get more and more access to anything that can create a PDF, whether it's good or bad, basically the reason I'm asking is because I thought that, okay, let's say that you get a relatively bad PDF versus a very good PDF.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking that because the computer power is also like going up,
right.
So I was just wondering, is it still like, is the PDFs getting more and more complex because they have more and more elements to it, and that's why you need to optimize them? Or is it just because you don't exchange the computers as fast as the technology allows you to?
It's a good question. I think it's just because of the diversity of the different customers that we work with. It truly depends on the tools that their IT team uses for their agency or their program, and so we don't have any influence in that. We just basically receive what they give us, and so the tools, I think, play a big role in that. And we have a customer that gives us a 30,000 page PDF that just is so smooth. It prints, I don't do anything to it, I just drop it in and it goes. It's beautiful. I had another customer who gives me a 10,000 page PDF. It has, I've literally counted, there's 18,000 fonts in a 10,000 page PDF. So that one we run through Solimar and ReadyPDF, and we get that down to 100 fonts. So it just really just depends on the customer's tools, but with the tools we have with Solimar, it doesn't matter in the end. We can normalize it, we can optimize it, and get it into production.
Last question, Michael. I was just thinking that with a job like yours, it seems like it's really important in order to make sure that you have that, you say almost like 0 touch points in your production. I was just wondering, from a job perspective, can you keep improving the processes even more, or are we getting to some max?
That's a great question. Yeah, one of the things I've loved about working with the Solimar tools is I have patterns that I apply across multiple workflows, and I can reuse objects. So when I work something out for a new workflow, I'm like, oh, this is kind of a cool thing, or this has saved me time. I can take those objects and I can wire it into existing workflows fairly quickly and kind of get those same advantages. So there's always kind of a new challenge, always a new need from a customer, and getting that to work for them, and then I can easily reuse it, adapt it. So everything is constantly growing. It's not static at all.
You said to me when we met that you were sitting in the basement and doing the computer programming. Yeah. So, but they allow you to get out for trade shows and also in your work on the councils of Solimar, right?
Yes, indeed. About every 4 years I can get out, apparently. But actually, I do love the fact that internally I work with our customers on job intake. So I work with agencies all across our state. So half the time it feels like I'm working with people, on projects and helping them design things and do things, make those decisions up front that then make my life easier when it comes to production. So actually, it's a great balance. I love the ability. I work with computers when I need to. I work with people. So I really appreciate that balance.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you, sir.